Hey everyone, three Samsung Galaxy S smartphones. I'm Josh Smith with GottaBeMobile.com, and today I want to show you the Samsung Galaxy S3, Galaxy S4, and Galaxy S5 in case you're interested in upgrading or buying your first phone. A lot of times we see carriers still have all of these phones available for sale, so you might see this for free, $99 and $199. Sometimes we see the price drop to $99, $50, or even zero, and sometimes free on this Galaxy S3. Or maybe you're looking to upgrade from the Galaxy S3 to the latest, or maybe just to last year's model. I want to run through some quick changes and design features. Now, overall, you'll notice that these phones are pretty similar in size. Now, if you check the description of this video, you'll see tons of photos so that you can actually see the size difference a little bit better. But you get some variety of features. We have a 4.8-inch display. We have a 5-inch or 4.97-inch display on the Galaxy S4 and a 5.1-inch display on the Galaxy S5. Now, the size isn't the only thing that changes between these. The display over here is actually going to be a lot brighter and a lot nicer looking. All of these are on the maximum brightness, and you might not be able to tell as much in the video, but right here we can tell it's okay, better, best. You get the brightest screen over here, and there's some different screen technology in here so that when I go outside, the screen will automatically get brighter. There's an ultra dimming mode, and there's even a mode that will make this screen go black and white so that your battery will last much, much longer. Now, the other differences that we see, we all have this same home button, physical home button. In the Galaxy S5, this is a fingerprint reader, so I can swipe my finger here to unlock the phone, to unlock some documents that I've hidden on the phone and locked up, and to make payments using PayPal. These two home buttons don't have that capability. We have capacitive buttons on the side, so small, almost touchscreen-like buttons on the side of each of these. And for the Galaxy S5, it's different. You can see here, this is a menu option. This is actually multitasking, and then if I want menu, I tap and hold. This is actually also a little bit nicer to get to Google Now. If you use that service, if you hold this, it's going to go right to Google Now. And I can just say, okay, Google. Okay, Google. And it will open up. I can't do that for either of these phones. If I hold this down and then tap, I can get to Google Now. And if I hold this down, I can tap and get to Google Now. So that's a little bit of a different thing there. In terms of the design, we see an upgrade as we move through each of these. This is a very, very plasticky design, one that Samsung was given a lot of attention for, not in a positive way, and it just doesn't feel real great. Now with the Galaxy S4, they upgraded to a new mix or blend of plastic, and there's a slight crosshatch design there. This feels better than the S3. The S5 now has a soft touch plastic. This white is actually an off-white, so that may be a turn-off. You might want to go with the black one or hold out for an electric blue model, but this definitely feels a lot better, a little easier to get a grip. Speakers on the back of these, speakers somewhere on the Galaxy S3, must be coming out the back somewhere on there. Now on the S4 and the S5, on the top you get an IR port, and so what you can do with this is control your HDTV. That's something that you don't find on the Galaxy S3. Headphones are on top for all of them. Camera wise, we have a 16 megapixel camera. You can shoot 4K video and 1080p video. This does 1080p video, and I believe this is a 13 megapixel camera. I may be wrong on that. Check the comments. And then on this one, we have an older camera. And if you, again, check the description, we're going to have a shootout to show you what these look like, what the photos look like on each of these different devices. Now, on all of these, you can peel the back off. And this is kind of a Samsung trademark feature that allows you access to two key things. So I can stick a micro SD card in each of these to add more storage, which is good because usually the storage you buy it with is limited. And what I can also do is I can pull these batteries out and stick a new battery in. Now the battery is larger in the Galaxy S5 in capacity wise, even though it looks a little bigger. And what that means is you're going to get better battery life. And the screen is actually more power efficient on the Galaxy S5. I believe it's about 20% more power efficient. So if both of these screens are at the same brightness, this is going to use 20% less power. And that's going to translate into much longer battery life. Now you'll notice another key difference here when we look at the backs. There is a small rubber ring in here, and that's because the Galaxy S5 is water resistant. It's not waterproof. You cannot go stick this in feet and feet and feet of water, but it'll handle about 3 feet of water for 30 minutes. So that means if you drop it in a puddle, if you drop it in the sink while you're doing dishes, or pretty much all these little accidents that would otherwise render a phone useless, this will survive it as long as you have this back on tight and the little USB thing stuck in there to protect that. Both of these phones don't do that. If you want something like that, you're gonna have to stick one of these phones in a case. So like we have a LifeProof case here for the Galaxy S3. And what's interesting is once we get this case on, we end up with a phone that is just about as thick as our Galaxy S5 and about as big. I'm not going to snap this in there right away, but that gets you a little bit more protection than these phones, or than just this phone on its own. So some people still may have a need for a case, even on the Galaxy S5. But that's a quick look at the differences between these devices. Now, again, there's going to be performance differences, and the Galaxy S3 is going to run an older version of Android, and you're going to get fewer updates at this point. We're approaching the middle of April 2014, and we're still waiting on an update for the Galaxy S3 to bring it up to par with these devices. But we're running the latest version of Android over here. There is a pulse reader back here, so if I pull my finger over this and use an S Health app, I'm going to be able to track my pulse and measure that. Something that is not built in, but you can find some apps that will use the camera to do that. Thanks for watching. Check out the description for a link to more information about this, and you can head over to GottaBeMobile.com to see more on each of these smartphones.